ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to School of Science. My name is Luke, and this is the weekly roundup. Quite a few things to talk about, actually. Well, I'll say quite a few. Four major ones that I've sort of want to talk about. So, first one's going to be melded into two. So, two transfers potentially coming in. One being the new store, and one being that not so great result. So, yeah. So I figured instead of doing a post-match, I'd do this so we'd be able to sort of meld it all together into a nice big video so you're not getting hammered with video after video after video and you're like, too much, mate, nah. So it's all in one video. So if there's any section that you want to look at in particular, it'll be down here below, probably in one of the chapters, unless I forgot to do it. In that case, sorry. First things first, let's talk about the two transfers coming in. First one being Aznou, I think his name is. That's how it looks like. I'm going to pronounce how it looks. It's probably spelled different. Well, it's probably said different to how it's spelled, being that he is a Moroccan. Now, thing is, we're buying him off Bayern Munich. I believe the fee's somewhere around £8 million plus add-ons. He's 19 years old, plays as a left back, has played as a right back it was in the UEFA Youth League. Under Bayern Munich, and he had reasonable success in that regard. He's also played left wing and centre midfield. But looking at footage on him, he's a very attack-minded left back. So you're talking about a left wing back here. So basically, whenever we put Dwight McNeil on the left back role, that's how he plays. He likes to be up the field. He's around most of the footage I've seen of him. He's midfield to attack. He's basically between the centre of the midfield or in the opposition's box area. So he's basically covering that section of the field. He has got defensive capabilities and qualities, but he likes to be up the other side of the field. So he's more of a left midfielder rather than a left back in that sort of regard. But what do I think about him? Now, looking at the footage of him and everything, that's got a bit of a bias in its own right, but I like him in that sort of regards. He looks promising, very skillful, very quick, very smart about his game. He knows where players are. He knows the right pass. He knows the right sort of cross. He knows when to cross, when to pass, when to just beat the player and move in further. He's smart in that sort of regard, but he's still very young and very, very raw. So he's more focused on trying to be tricksy with a bit of flourish and flair and everything. But that's not wrong. That's not bad. I mean, Iliman and I last night, he did the exact same thing in the first half at Everton against Bournemouth, and he played so well as well. He did really well with the ball. Pretty much one particular one that's been doing all the rounds over Twitter and all that is where he basically beat 3 or 4 players and got from basically the centre circle all the way up to the opposition's box with the ball. He did so well, moving that ball, sort of ducking, weaving and diving in and out of their players and everything. If only we could have done that for the full 90. So yeah. But yeah, so Aznou, what do I think of him? He's going to be an understudy Mykolenko for the time being. He is going to be his understudy in all fairness. I do think that's going to be his primary role. So if Mykolenko gets injured or suspended or anything along those lines, or falls out of favour with Moyes, that's who's going to be coming in the left back position. As I said, he can play right back as well. So let's say, for argument's sake, absolute worst case scenario happens. Patson gets injured, and Jake O'Brien gets injured, and Roman Dixon, if he's still with us, gets injured. We've got no one on the right back position. He will fall into there as well. But yeah, overall, I like the kids. I do like the kids. I hope he does come to... well, it's pretty much almost guaranteed. He's having a medical today, so... And from the rumours as well, once his contract has been signed and everything's been sorted out, he's getting flown straight over to America, where he's going to be getting in with the squad. And I do believe it'll be too early for him to play against West Ham, but it could potentially be that he could make an appearance for the Manchester United game. So fingers crossed on that one, because we do need the deathbed so badly. That depth, I keep going for E's to A's. The depth of the squad is, it's way for Finn. Honestly, it's way for Finn. It is quite literally, I haven't got anything I can use as an example. I was going to go and reach for something, but I haven't got anything on hand. But yeah, so the depth of the squad is absolutely too thin for us to really be competing the way we are right now. So I do think another 6 to 7 players desperately needed for the squad, being that a right back, a right winger, someone in the central role. We've got 3 strikers already. I mean, we're going to have to keep ultimate at this point. I do think another centre-back would be more beneficial. So we've already got our left back. Another lad I'm going to be talking about in a minute. He's an interesting little proposition. But yeah, so in regards to the depth of the squad, we do need them 6 players. I would say one centre-back, another right back, 2 right wingers, someone in the centre, say is another number 6, and potentially another number 8/number 10. So those are the 6 I'm on about. I'm not talking about the players that we were potentially signing because they're taken out of it, because Moyes did say he needs another 8 or 9 players. So we take them 2 out, you're talking another, 6 to 7 in a way. So yeah, so on to the next one. Okay, so as you probably saw there, one lad we're looking at the moment as well is Malik Fofana. This lad, there's been talk that he is keen to come to the Premier League. He has also apparently made statements that he wants to play for a team that's playing in the Champions League. He's only young. I think he's only about 20 or 21 in all fairness. But this lad is currently with Lille or Lyon. I think he's with Lyon. Right down here. That's the safest bet. This is the team he's with at the moment. And we have made a bid of around 35 million euros that was knocked back, and it was with add-ons. However, from what has been circulated, we are going to be upgrading that bid with better add-on benefits as well. Alongside, I believe it's going to be a buy-on, sell-on clause as well. So something along the lines of 10%, if I'm not mistaken. That's usually the bog standard one. So why all the hoo-ha around Fofana? Now, I've heard a few Fofanas in my time when it comes to football, but Malik Fofana is a very good young up-and-coming talent again. Similar to how Aznou is, he's a bit of an unknown entity. The footage I've found of him, he's very fast again and tricksy again. It seems to be a running theme at the club at the moment. We want fast, we want tricksy. Whatever happened to our bulldozer players that we used to get from under Moyes, the likes of your Kubus and Fellaini's, your Heitingers, your Billy Electanovs. I can't believe I can still say that name so easily. So yeah, so the lad, he operates off the left wing. He has played on the right wing. However, he has a severe favour towards his left. The only thing is, we've got Iliman Ndiaye, Dwight McNeil, Charlie Alcaraz. We had Jack Harrison. But yeah, so you've already got 3 people who have a preference towards that left-hand side, but they've also got a bit of a likeness to the middle. So it's going to be interesting where he's going to fit into the squad. Now, there's one of 2 ways this can go about. Either they're going to use him as a right winger, which is probably the worst of the 2 scenarios, just because he's so adept on his left, his ability with both feet and everything like that. He likes to utilize that byline and try and force the players to think that they're going to go right up to the edge and then come inside. His ability and play style like that favors him on the left. So he will most likely be sticking to that left-hand side. And instead, we're going to be seeing something along the lines of, I'm thinking potentially having him on the left, Iliman Ndiaye on the right, and either Charlie Alcaraz or Dwight McNeil in the middle, having them as a centre point, or as a third option, you have, and this is not a great scenario as well, this is probably the second worst scenario, so second best, second worst. You're having him on the left, Ndiaye in the middle, and McNeil on the right. Again, or it could even be Charlie Alcaraz on the right. He does have a nice little run on, he has a good run on the right, so we're going to end up having a 3 near the top. If, let's say this does go through, there's still up in the air on whether this is going to go through or not. It's currently 60-40 against at the moment, but I do think, fingers crossed, it might happen. But we've got a very tricksy 3 near the front there with a centre forward. We need, looking at Tierno Barry, nice quick lads actually, he's surprisingly quick. Watching the Bournemouth game, he was actually someone who was getting about and very good with the ball at his feet. So it's promising that the top end of the field is going to be sorted very quick with this one signing. Touch wood. So yeah, how's this going to fit into the squad? As I said, he's going to operate on the left. He could potentially come into the middle. And the three of them, if they build a good rapport with each other, this could be a situation where the three of them might just say to each other, right, at this transition of play, you're going to be left and middle. He's right. But we're going to swap and change to confuse opposition. So we are going to intermingle between ourselves. In certain situations, when I have the ball, I would like one of you guys to come in or push wide. It's one of those where that could work very much in our favour in that regard. So it could, twist and turn where they will all intermingle with each other, making it so that your opposition are looking and going, right, I've got this guy. Oh crap, he's over there now, but that's his area. It becomes like a split second of confusion, hopefully. And from there, we just take full advantage, open up that defence, leading in for either Beto or Barry to score. And then happy days. So yeah, okay. So overall, I'm excited. If we do get Fofana, brilliant. It does mean that we may potentially be backing off Kubo. Who's Kubo actually, by the way? So a very quick one with Kubo. So Kubo is a right winger with Real Sociedad. I did actually mention him last year on Twitter, and someone completely harpooned it, said, no chance of us getting him. Too good, too expensive, no chance. I was surprised when he came out. Now, the thing is, I wasn't saying, oh yeah, he should come to Everton. I said we would like a player like him. He's not exactly fast, but he's got a really good engine on him. He can just go and go and go. He's got a good foot on him. He knows how to turn players inside out. So we will probably potentially be backing away from that one alongside Douglas Luiz. Things have gone a little bit quiet with Douglas Luiz at the moment. So I don't know what's going on there. I think that one might potentially just be agents and paper talk. But hey, if he ends up signing for us, great. I'll make a video covering it. So yeah, so on to the next section. Okay, so as you saw there, Everton have now opened their official store at the new stadium, the Hill Dickinson Stadium, and it's nice. It is very nice in there. I will be honest, it is a very industrial looking thing at the moment. I'm not sure whether this is the finished article or they are still working on it, and as the season goes on, it'll have, let's say, a little bit more paint on the walls or a false ceiling put in between the lights and the actual ceiling, because at this point in time, when you actually go and have a look at it, it's a situation where it's, how can I put this? It looks slightly unfinished. This isn't a negative, by the way. I'm not saying that it looks bad. It does look slightly unfinished. You can see the insulation panels at the very top, and you can sort of see the lighting strung down and everything. It looks like there's still a little bit to go on it. But I do think there is a tiny bit still to go, but I don't think the areas I've been looking at are what is going to get finished up. Also, going through the stairway, going up, because it is actually a two-tiered shop. So in the very bottom of it, you've got all your main team kit stuff and everything like that. You've got the farewell to Goodison shirt. You've got the baseball memorabilia stuff. You've got the grabber machine. You'll see all this in the videos as well. I've done a little video. It's more likely going to be up here, or it's going to be an actual thing while I'm talking over this. I will figure this out in editing. Bear in mind, I do all this stuff on the fly. So yeah. But overall, it is a beautiful, beautiful shop. I really do like it. And this has taken away the Everton bias and all that. It is really nice how they've done it. It's very well integrated into the stadium. And from there, you can actually go, if you have got, let's say, a hospitality seat or anything along those lines in the East Stand, I do believe when you actually go into there, you can get to your area from there. I'm not sure whether this was a staff-only thing, but when I was actually going from the bottom floor to the top floor, there were two sets of doors that the security were like this, like that proper in front of me, you aren't getting through here. No chance. Nope, you aren't getting in. Not getting in. Guy was even bigger than me. So my assumption was those would probably lead into hospitality. So what would probably happen is you might get, let's say for argument's sake, you buy a hospitality ticket. it probably is going to be a match day experience. You're going to go in, you're going to go through the club shop, you're going to think, okay, this is my one time getting the ticket. I'm going to get some bits and whatnot for the whole event. You're going to say, get a shirt or get a scarf or something like that. You then go through, you enjoy your hospitality thing, go to your seats, enjoy the time. And then after the game, have a drink or something like that. You come back through and you may be thinking, you know what? The wife and kids might want something. You go and get something else on your way out. That's the way it sort of seems like it's set out for me. It's nice, it's great, it's clever. To be honest, it's kind of American as well when you think about it. When you look at how they've done it, it is very American-esque. It's not in a bad way, but it is very American-esque. Basically, you're going to go through, you're going to buy the merchandise before you go into your seat and all that. I like it. It's smart. It is smart business. So yeah, overall though, great seat. It's a great little shop. All the stuff up there. There's got a wide variety of stuff. They've also got a lot of the art of football stuff as well. You know what? I do like the art of football stuff. I do think what they could potentially even do is potentially looking at, some of the indie merchandise sort of stuff. So, like Rob, who does this sort of stuff. If they were to potentially look at saying, you know what, Rob, we like some of the stuff that you do. It is very nice. Like one of these in the form of a shirt or, one of these in the form of a shirt. We want a few little bits of these. We'll pay you this much. We'll sell it in our store or we'll get some of them off you and whatever we sell, you get a proceed towards it. There could potentially be room for that because there is definitely a large amount of space that can be filled up with a wide variety of stuff. So yeah, on to the final section. So this is going to be like a little brief post-match. And this is going to be for Everton versus Bournemouth. Everton 0, Bournemouth 3. Now, this was safe to say, a tale of two halves. So first off, Everton really put the foot on the gas. They were going in with the intention of scoring early and trying to put Bournemouth on the back foot as quickly as possible. We tried to set out with the intent of, nice, fast, transitional play. We're going to cut between in and outs, basically put it through the middle, bring it out, back in, back out, back in. We were doing that pretty much using the width to the fullest extent of that pitch to try and open up Bournemouth to lead into a goal. And we were doing well with this. So Dwight McNeil did really good with this. Iliman Ndiaye did well with this. Charlie Alcaraz had a decent game. Not one of his best games, but you know what? Pre-season being pre-season, your best players become your worst players become the best players. Sometimes, for crying out loud, when Ashley Young first signed for us, he got a brace in one of our games. And that was not foretelling to what he was going to be like for the forthcoming season, in all honesty. But yeah, over the course of that first half, great work from a lot of the players, did really well. Ida Burnham did well. Idrissa Gueye, nice little bulldog in midfield as we need. James Garner did well as a right back. Mikolenko has a good little few moments there as well. And then Beto as well. Beto has a few moments as well. He was unfortunate not to score. One ball that came through very close to the end of the first half. Basically got the ball and just wellied it. Unfortunately, the keeper was just at that right height to where he basically did a very good impression of Scott Sale, except from with the head in the chest. Basically, he took the ball straight to the chest and sent it out for a corner. And from the second half, we'd used everything in the first half. That's how it felt to me. We'd used all of our energy in that first half, trying to break the lines, and Bournemouth had energy to spare as well as personnel to spare. So from the off of the second half, Bournemouth had made 5 changes in that first bit, and we never made any changes in all fairness up until around the halfway period of the second half. And it showed. We were getting lazy, we were getting sloppy. Now, this isn't against the players. It was a hot, muggy day in New Jersey. It's just one of them. When you get fatigued, you tend to make mistakes. You're not as quick, you're not as responsive. You just, how can I put it? I know this myself when I play football. When I'm starting to get tired, certain things, like you lose that extra yards, your brain doesn't function, you lose, like, say, a quarter of a second in terms of your reaction time. Just little bits here and there that sort of affect your style of play, the way you're playing, and your quality of play. And this shows because the first goal, it was quite literally one of the nice, fresh Bournemouth subs. Got the ball from the edge of the box, just nicked it to his right, slammed it, beat Mikolenko, and we were 1-0. That was 1-0 down. From there, we were still pushing at them. We were still asking questions of them, but they were catching on to how we were playing. And they just basically cut us off at the head. And from there, they just slowly built back, catching us here, there, and everywhere. For the second goal, I feel like that one again, fatigue. I want to blame the pitch, but to be honest, it's just how we're playing. We're waiting for Finn at the moment. It was pretty much a situation. The ball came through. Patterson tried to control the ball. Basically, he had the ball, tried to control it to bring it around. But instead of doing that, all he had to do was just get his laces through it and just send it off wide. Because as a result, because of that touch, the Bournemouth player that was on his left shoulder took full advantage, got the ball. Second goal, 2-0. So yeah, again, kept moving, trying, making some changes here and there. And then for the third goal, easily preventable again. We've got Jake O'Brien currently acting as a centre-back right now. And as you probably noticed in this game, poor little Irish lad was in that New Jersey heat. He was just absolutely sweltered out of his brain. He could not take that heat. And as you know, the average Irishman they have a melting point of 20 degrees Celsius. It was a lot warmer than that. And the humidity was just through the roof. So he basically got the ball, made a very lacklustre pass, trying to put it back to Pickford, who was going to send upfield, but unfortunately just didn't have enough on it. And boom, one of the Bournemouth players was able to get to it straight away. Bam, got it, goal. So yeah. So overall, wasn't a bad game. It was, like I said, it was a game of two halves. We played brilliantly in that first half, did so well, kept them at bay, but the second half was something else to be desired altogether. It just shows the depth of our squad is a bit lacking at this point in time, and we do need to build on that. So I think, pardon me, with the coming games, hopefully Tarkowski's getting fit soon. He needs to make a bit of a feature, whether that's for the second half of the next game or whether that's for the final bit in the second game or something of the third game against Man United. We do need to get more legs in this squad because right now we are waiting for Finn. It's very telling because it's not doing well for us. I mean, don't get me wrong. Pre-season is not a fair representation of the potential season as a whole. Because what you've got to take into account is the heat, the frequency of the games, as well as blowing away them summer cobwebs. It's just, this is, as Moises said, it's fitness, it's getting the minutes in, it's getting the legs going, it's getting them back into the football and rhythm. Because at the end of that season, come the late May, early June, the lads who aren't on international duty, they're off doing their own thing, whether it's going on holiday, doing a little training camp, doing this, doing that. It's all that. They're not focused on, say, Premier League football. They're not focused on football as a whole. They're doing their own thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Alcaraz and Ndai actually went off and did a camp together. Actually, no. It was just Ndai. No, it was just Ndai. I need to correct myself on that one. So Ndai went off, did his camp. Don't know who he did it with, though, but he actually had a good camp. And as a result, with him coming back, he's doing really well. He's kept his composure well. He's moving well. He's certainly one for the future, and I do think he's going to get better the more games he gets. But hopefully, these potential signings are going to come in soon, thick and fast, and we can potentially get them straight out to the US and either get them in for the United game or just get them training with the lads, get them back here for the Roma game, get them going then, and then once the season kicks off, we're able to hit the ground running. Hopefully get that we need to get that early win against Leeds. Now, bear in mind, these are a bit of a team that will, how can I put this? Our track record at Ellen Road isn't great. It really isn't great. But I do think with the lads we've got at the moment and the lads that are potentially going to be coming in the future, we could bring it to them. We could potentially be looking at a top half finish this season. I will go into this a little bit deeper in the next couple of weeks, just before the season kicks off. We're going to take all the pre-season stuff into account, the potential all the signings that have come in, and some of the lads who have left. Look at the squad depth, look at the performances. We're not going to look at the scores so much, but we will look at the performances and how they've played. Look at the transition to play, look at the possession, look at the shots, look at the passes, look at the crosses, look at the corners, look at the throw-ins, look at the free kicks. We're going to do all of that and take all that into account for this coming season. As I said, it's not something you can't really hold everything that happens over the course of the pre-season as gospel, or, how can I put it? You take the pre-season with a bit of a grain of salt. I'm all over the place with these metaphors and all that. But yeah. So yeah, we'll be talking about that in the next couple of weeks. It's probably going to be just after the Roma game. We'll look at the season ahead and go from there. So yeah, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. And also I'd like to say a big thank you to these guys down below. If you want to be like these guys and become a part of the School of Science Cup of Coffee tier and help support the channel, why not go over to the channel? Join us, less than £1 a month. You're helping the channel significantly. You get your name down below, and you're doing things like you're helping me buy merchandise, bits like this, helping me with my hardware, my software, peripherals, microphones, stuff like that. You're helping me improve this channel each and every day. It's greatly appreciated. Even if you think, oh, it's only £1, he's not going to appreciate that too much. Believe it or not, that pound goes a long way with this channel. Viewership and everything like that with YouTube, I think I can't really talk too much in terms of analytics, but that pound does help significantly. If, let's say, for argument's sake, I've got 3,200 or 3,300 at the moment on the channel. I'll put it down here. Let's say 3,300. That's probably the easiest one. If 10% of them were to become a part of the School of Science Cup of Coffee tier, those guys on their own will help generate over £300 worth of revenue to the channel. That sort of revenue per month. Now, bear in mind, all the money that comes into this channel goes straight back into the channel. Also, we have got merchandise as well if you want to help in that sort of way and you get something out of it, whether it be a cap, a top, a scarf, a sticker, anything like that. It's down there in my Redbubble. So if you want to support us in that regard, that's always appreciated. But I digress. That £300 a month could help repaint this wall. It could help, improve the lighting. It could help the soundproofing. It could help upgrade the microphones. It could help upgrade the cameras. It can help upgrade the hardware, which we have done. We've upgraded the motherboard and the CPU of my computer for the editing. So that stuff gets done so much quicker now. My computer is now Windows 11 compatible. Thank you very much for that, guys. So essentially sorting out a new graphics card, sorting out better RAM, bigger hard drive space, potentially looking at getting a server. Hell, if I was to generate enough revenue in this channel, I could potentially even hire an editor so that I can focus on making the videos, getting someone else to edit them for me to make better edits of these things, and we can get these things out thicker and faster. It's them sorts of things that do significantly help the channel. So if you want to help the channel by any means, whether that be buying merchandise, becoming a part of the channel, simply liking, putting feedback in and sharing this stuff, that all means so much because that all goes back into the channel in the form of revenue. Also gives me a nice warm fuzzy feeling knowing that people actually support the channel. But in any case, guys, again, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Next game is going to be on Tuesday at 11 p.m. against West Ham. That is a late one. I am not looking forward to that one. But in any case, guys, thank you so much for watching again. Take care, enjoy the rest of your week, up the freaking toffees, and peace.